Este o mare bucurie pentru mine să-l invit în scenă pe John Bozzella, președintele Organizației Internaționale a Constructorilor de Automobile. John? Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you. It is a great pleasure to be here. I want to thank Dan Vardier for the very warm welcome he's given me, and congratulations to Dan and APIA for your 30th anniversary and for hosting us as OICA here in Bucharest this year. Mr. Prime Minister Ciolacu, it's been a great pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much. And to Adina Vălean, member of the European Parliament, we are honored by your presence today. This is my first time in Romania, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of this beautiful country and enjoying your food over the next few days. I'm John Bozzella. For those of you I have not had the pleasure to meet quite yet, I'm the President and CEO of Alliance for Automotive Innovation. We are the U.S. trade association representing the entire auto industry before government and policymakers in Washington, D.C. We include the iconic OEMs designing and producing most vehicles sold today in the United States. We're also home to autonomous vehicle innovators, semiconductor producers, and advanced battery manufacturers. I'm also, and of course this is what brings me to Bucharest, the president of the International Organization of Motor Vehicle Manufacturers, or OICA. Let me recognize our fantastic new General Secretary, François Rodier. François has set about transforming OICA and preparing us for the future. Merci, François. As you know, OICA was founded in 1919 at the dawn of the automotive era. We're based in Paris and represent 36 automotive trade associations from the world's major automotive manufacturing countries, including APIA. OICA gathers once a year to compare notes and discuss challenges and opportunities facing our industry around the world. And as the Prime Minister said, we also gather against a backdrop of considerable uncertainty, industry uncertainty, geopolitical uncertainty. We've got much to talk about these days, don't we? OICA's mission, in short, is to improve global road safety and environmental standards so all countries and all people have access to the safest, cleanest, and most advanced transportation possible. I want to mention just briefly that we work very extensively on technical and regulatory standards. And I also want to encourage all of you in the industry and with OICA to meet this week with our technical director, Olivier Fontaine. Olivier is doing great work with our regulatory affairs at the European Union, the United States, and the United Nations, and we appreciate his leadership as well. I want to talk a little bit about our focus on decarbonization. OICA is leading the conversation across government and industry in this area. Globally, the auto industry is investing hundreds of billions of dollars in clean energy technologies. Everything from advanced internal combustion engines and low carbon liquid fuels to hydrogen fuel cell technology and, of course, electrification. While electrification is shaping the future in many auto markets, let's be clear, it's not the only answer. We don't believe that every country must or even should adopt the very same decarbonization strategy. Instead, a technology-neutral approach with flexibilities for countries to adopt policies and technologies suited to their geographic, socioeconomic, cultural, and geopolitical realities. This is an approach that offers real opportunity for sustained progress toward a cleaner future. Here's my broader point. Decarbonization requires a government and industry partnership as well as commitments from the entire road transport ecosystem. No single government policy or industry investment in isolation will achieve carbon neutrality. Let me talk a bit about electrification specifically. Globally, there are 1.47 billion light-duty vehicles on the road. In 2023, about 3% or 40 million were electrified, up from 2% or 26 million in 2022. For some U.S. perspective, there are 286 million light-duty vehicles on U.S. roads. In 2023, 1.5% or 4.3 million of those were EVs. Just a little perspective in the U.S., gasoline-powered vehicles are down in a big way in the U.S., dropping 19 points since 2016, offset by the growth in technologies like hybrids, battery electric and plug-in hybrid vehicles. This is good news. It means electric-powered miles are rapidly replacing petroleum-powered miles on U.S. roads. However, the market is spiky. It's continuing to grow, but the rate of growth is slowing. So what's happening? It's pretty simple. We need to find more customers beyond the early adopters and technology leaders, and we have to continue to win and expand our markets to those customers. Just this week, I was at the Paris Motor Show. There are amazing products to see there. But for this transition to electrification to be truly successful and to move as quickly as we all want it to move, we need a deeper, broader, and more strategic partnership between automakers, other sectors of the economy, and government to address near-term challenges. What are those challenges? Access and funding for EV charging infrastructure, consumer awareness and education and incentives at an early point in the market, resilient supply chains that allow vehicles to be built closer to the customer to drive down prices and increase affordability. Unfortunately, what we're seeing from governments in some places and in some cases are policies that are unevenly applied. When I speak to government leaders, here's what I say first. The future is electric. Second, shifting to electric personal mobility requires nothing short of a complete transformation of the global automotive industrial base and also a reimagination of auto markets around the world. This is a huge transformation. It is exponentially harder than anything ever attempted in the history of transportation. By the way, automakers are investing massive amounts of capital in electrification generated by returns from internal combustion engine vehicle sales. This can't go on forever. So I tell policymakers to be successful, we need to address the necessary conditions to shift the market. I don't worry at all about automakers' ability to produce vehicles. I do worry about whether there is too big a gap between government requirements and customer expectations. In other words, we need a balanced policy approach. I understand policymakers must balance multiple societal goals. They have to consider carbon reduction. They also have to consider jobs, trade, competitiveness, and economic and national security. Sometimes these goals and policy don't line up. Sometimes they're in conflict. What's my point? Passing a law that requires 100% electric vehicles in 10 years is the easy part. Going too fast could create competitive risk for automakers. So I tell policymakers, let's get the balance right. Ambitious EV goals are good, but let's not assume or hope everything will go perfectly. It won't. It never does. The future is electric. This will happen if we work together on a shared vision of success. It's been my privilege to serve as OICA's president for 2 years. I've been in the auto business more than 25 years. I have never worked in a moment of such promise and excitement. I believe now more than ever that personal mobility is a force for good that can lift up communities and families. Automaking is one of the world's most consequential and indispensable industries. It's an economic engine and a driver of opportunity and social freedom. Here's my hope for this week and for OICA, that our unique platform and our constructive working relationship means that we can serve as the auto industry's United Nations, a place to share perspective and, where possible, align our national and regional interests to support the greater good, a thriving, growing, and dynamic auto industry. Thank you.